Whenever you create a class in Dart, you are also implicitly creating an interface. An interface determines how the class will look to someone else using it in the codebase. Or in other words, it determines what the other developer will see in their IntelliSense when working with this code in a different file. By default, your instance variables and methods will be public, which means other developers will be able to see them. However, you may want to create a private member that's only available on the class implementation itself, like a method or variable that's needed to implement the class but shouldn't be used by the end user who's actually instantiating the object. We can easily create private members in Dart by simply naming methods or variables starting with an underscore. When implementing the class, you'll still have access to these values, but if the class is imported into a different file, then they won't be visible in the IntelliSense, and the compiler will throw an error if you try to access them. In the code snippet for this section, I've added a breakdown of what would be in the interface and what would not. Anything starting with an underscore would not, and it's also worth noting that the constructor would not, because it's not a value that can be accessed by the end consumer of the object. One final thing worth noting is that if you just want to implement an interface and don't care about the implementation details, you can add the abstract keyword in front of a class. This creates a class that cannot be instantiated, so it's only there for the interface itself.